producers, it's Özgün here. In this tutorial, I'm gonna show you how to make Yotto style drops. It's going to have the tech house vibe and deep house vibe and also the melodic techno vibe. And we will talk about how to program the bass, how to program drums. And I'm gonna make a quick drop idea in style of Yotto. And if you're ready, let's get into the tutorial. Okay, now we are going to find a kick drum, then we are gonna build everything top of the kick drum. For that, I'm gonna just dig several melodic techno packs. I think there was really cool kick, one of them. Maybe this one. But just judging from the waveform, maybe we could get a bit more punchier bass drum. Not that much, this is kinda EDM-ish. So yeah, this is what I'm looking for. It has a small transient because Yotto tracks doesn't have that much clicky transient, but it has a really good punch part, just we have in this kick example. Probably we should make the BPM 124. First thing, we should check the key of the kick so we can be more accurate when we are writing the bass. So as you see, it shows the note of G. So which means my track is going to be G, because in this kind of melodic techno tracks, I like to merge the keys to kick with the bass. Then it's gonna be sound more glued together. But still, I think the kick transient is a little bit too much, the style in my head. To get rid of that, I'm gonna put a transient processor and just get rid of the attack, the very first part of the kick, just a little bit. Now the kick is more punchy and the click is not that present. I'm gonna copy it like that. And maybe we can give a little bit of boost with the note of G. Let's put it in here. And you know, I like to dip the low mids just a little bit to get more tight kick drum. It's a small touch, but I think it's gonna make sense when we are working on the bass. Let's add the bass now. I'm gonna add a serum. So in here we have several options to follow, but I'm gonna go make something tech housey, because in Yotto tracks you hear different variation of genres. Sometimes you hear mostly techno, but sometimes you hear the tech house bassline with deep house drums. So yeah, his style is really unique. That's why I'm gonna try to get close one of his tracks. And actually, like, I'm gonna follow the One Blood track of him because I really amazed the track, really amazed the production of it. So yeah, let's go find the cool bass preset. I'm looking for something with more sustain. Maybe. So this preset has a punch. It's kinda like hitting, but the sustain after that is still going. We can probably use that sound. So let's send it to its own channel so we can properly sidechain it. And I'm just gonna put a DST to get a bigger sound. I'm not doing anything, just, you know, giving several dBs of distortion. And I'm lowering the output not to get clip, it might confuse us. So the key was G. And the bass line in my head, I'm gonna follow the One Blood track. So the main bass is really basic. It's just hitting one note. But he's adding another note to here. And it's gonna add the groove of the track. Maybe we can just make it shorter just a little bit. And yeah, this is what we are going to loop in full drop. Let's take a look. Sounds nice, but let's give it some overdrive. And maybe we can give just a little bit of more decay. Whenever you are working with the presets, you should just work on the ADSR settings to tweak them to match them perfectly with your track. So now I think giving a little bit decay and release is just making it perfect. Now I like to give it a wave shaper just to saturate the signal a little bit more. So far so good. Now I'm gonna write my bass line because we have the rhythm, but we are going to need some bass progression. This is what you see on Yotto tracks. The first drop usually start like that, like the main key of the track, but in time it's just develop, it just progress in terms of bass notes. This is what I'm gonna do now. So once we have the main bass of the track, we probably clone this one and, you know, send it to the next channel, call it Reese, Hoover, whatever you like. And let's copy the sidechain. Because most of the time you hear the main bass line with grooving with the kick, but top of that one, Yotto has most of the time a Hoover bass, some bass pad to cover more low mids upper bass frequencies, which we are gonna create our patch from 0. So let's go choose the initial preset. All I'm gonna do is just give several voicing here. Let me mute the main bass and let's go to its piano roll, and I'm just gonna write the same notes. Let's put it one octave down. Let's give it some soft clip. And maybe some hyper dimension, but not more than 15%. It makes the bass a bit more wide. The main thing is just activate a filter and give some drive, fat. Also, let's give it mono legato. So when we are moving other notes, it's gonna kind of glide a little bit. In order to use it with the main bass, we have to cut the low frequencies of the Hoover bass. And let's give it some distortion. now let's blend both of the channels together. And I'm gonna put a clipper to the master so we can get several dBs boost and we can hear it properly, like kinda after how it's gonna sound like when we are done with the mastering. Maybe we can lower the boost a little bit. And now let's blend the bass. And probably it's best if we shorten our kick so we get more space for the bass. Maybe we can put it like that. Now we are going to work on the drums and I'm gonna use this hi-hat for the main hat. So we are going to think like there's some actual drummer playing the drums. You have to sound analog and humanized. This is the key for this kind of tracks. So let's call it drums. We can separate the patterns later. Let's send it to here. Let's call it hat. So the MIDI I'm gonna use is going to be like that. Let's lower the ADSR settings. And let's go to its piano roll. We are going to lower the hits that is playing at the same time with the kick. So we will create this kind of groove. And I like to do something like that. If I would have a snare or a clap in here, it would be in here and here. So I like to double my hi-hat notes in these parts, which creates some extra groove to the track and adding some accent to the second beats. Let's cut the low frequencies. And let me drag drop this open hat. Because I told you we are gonna make it like a real actual drummer playing it. If you check the close hats, it's sometimes opened by the drummer. So we are gonna just manipulate the same thing. So the last hit is going to be the open hat, because in the real world you cannot play the close hats and the open hats at the same time unless in the drum you have two different hi-hat kits. But yeah, for that we are gonna go to its piano roll and just lower the last hit very much because we have the open hat in there. And for the open hat, again we are going to lower its decay. Maybe we can lower the volume so they can balance better. And let's hear how it's gonna sound with the bass. And I'm gonna add another hi-hat. Let's add it to here. Again, this sounds like the analog, like a real hi-hat. It's not sounds like digital. That's why I'm choosing the acoustic samples. Let's call it closed. I like to use this hat very small. It's just gonna add a small hit because we are not using the transient of the kick. We even reduced it. That's why a very small hi-hat is going to add the click of the kick and it's gonna sound really nice. We gotta make sure it's so small and probably we can just use it like that. Let's make sure it doesn't have any low frequencies. And maybe we can choose some Techno presets here. Maybe this one. This should be monitoring with the kick. And yeah, probably we can put the hi-hats, the main hat, like 10% to the left. Because again, a real drummer, if you just check the point of view of the drummer, the hi-hat is located on the left side of the drummer, unless he's left-handed. But yeah, like you can pan the drums according to the perspective of the player or the perspective of the audience. And with this, you can create the atmosphere, the stereo image of a real stage. Another trick about the hi-hats, I heard like Yotto using these tricks most of the time. I'm not sure if I'm gonna use it on the track, but still I like to show it to you. You can put the vocoder to the hi-hat channel and you can choose the drum preset here. And let's make the EQ something like that. And now it sounds bad like that. But if you lower the drive in here, just 10% of vocodex is adding a really weird FX to the hi-hats, and I heard it on most of Yotto tracks. You can check this trick as well. Let's hear how it sounds with the full context. Like, you need to use it very subtle, but it's adding some weird atmosphere, weird ambience to the hi-hats. Yeah, I'm not gonna use it for now, just to show you how it sounds if you use a vocoder on a drum, on a hi-hat. It's just making it really weird in a good way. Probably we should send the heads some group here. Let's call it drums. I like to give it some drive to make my drums a bit bigger. And after that, I like to just use a glue compression for gluing the several drum samples. And the last thing on the drum bass, just probably we should cut like maybe 200 hertz or something, because we added some drive, which is going to add some unwanted low frequencies. And the next thing I'm gonna add is these claps. Let's put it like that. But we don't need any reverb tail of the sample. That's why I'm gonna lower the output. And maybe we can make them smaller, shorter. If you hear Yotto tracks, like, they doesn't have that much reverb on the drums. In his tracks, the drums are mostly dry. That's why I'm gonna follow that rule. Let me layer the claps with another. This is more like a snare clap. So yeah, now we have a really tight drum sound, but still maybe 5% or something we can give reverb to the claps just to glue two different clap samples into one. So let's give it the drum room stock preset, but yeah, like maybe 5%, nothing more. And let's cut the low frequencies of the claps. And I'm gonna work on the groove of it just a little bit. So let's copy the kicks like that. I enjoy how it sounds. And I'm gonna just duplicate the same claps to the second part. Let's add a crash to the beginning parts. And probably we should give some reverb to the crash because it's ending too sudden. And the last thing I'm gonna add is some splice vocals to test the groove, test the drop of the track. Let's send the vocals to here. The vocal sounds like that, by the way.
Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it?
So it's B minor. If I put it 3 semitone down, it becomes the key of my track. I'm gonna put it to Stretch Pro because I think it's the best working on the vocals.
Is this place made for us?
So we don't lose the quality of the sample. And let's give the tempo information.
Is this place made for us?
And I'm quickly adding some delay reverb.
Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it? Ancestors do.
Maybe a little bit of sidechain, but like not more than 40%.
Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it?
Now I'm gonna blend the vocal.
Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it? Ancestors won't do it. Where will you go? Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it? Ancestors won't do it. Where will you go?
And before I end the video, I like to put this hi-hat groove. So in the second part, we can add some movement to the track.
Is this place made for us? Why don't you run from it?
So it's gonna be like that. I'm gonna start with the only one sustained note. And in the second part, I'm gonna just add my bass progression. And in the next part, we are gonna extend the hi-hats, extend the groove with adding this rolling heads. And yeah, this can be a really nice foundation of starting a Yotto style track. I hope you can apply this to your own productions too. So today that was it, guys. Now I'm gonna play the final track. So see you on the next video. Bye bye.